I got Mark still here with me, and it's going to be called the Neighborhood Network, and we're going to talk about what's happening in Saskatoon and the surrounding area, because Mark is part of Step 1 Music and Recovery.
Yes, so there's Step 1 Music, and then there's Step 1 Soldiers.
Okay.
Step 1 Soldiers is a mental health and addictions recovery program focused on personal and spiritual development. And Step 1 Music is a for-profit company that helps artists build their businesses, giving them holistic support, booking, management, holistic services.
Awesome. And now, when you say artist, that's all art, right?
That is all art, so both canvas painters as well as musicians.
Awesome, awesome. Again, that's much needed. I have a question about you, because I have been in a rubber room.
Okay, interesting.
At a hospital, because when I was in the military, they took me off the lotted cold after about 8 months of take it as you want.
Yeah, that's pretty steep.
Right? So I went a little, right?
Yeah, as anyone would.
And got a little violent. And stuck me in the padded room, and Buddy walked in, and the security officer, because I was not quiet, and I was saying some pretty choice stuff in the emergency room.
Yeah, well, I mean, you wanted your Delon room.
That's right.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So he walked in, and I said, "Oh yeah, you better put those gloves on." And and he had me on the floor and stuck a needle in my ass, and I woke up in a completely different hospital the next day.
Wow.
Here's a question I have, and I don't know if you've met anybody else that's been in, be it jail, or, because the jail does the same thing, or a mental hospital. Why the fuck did they put you on display like you're a specimen? Your bed's not against the wall, right? Like normal people. It's dead center of the room. They keep the lights on because you're a suicide risk or a harm risk or whatever. Then they watch you through the windows constantly. There's nothing that makes someone crazy, more crazy, than being a specimen for a science project. Trust me, been there, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right? Because you're in the center of a room. Why do you think they would do that?
That's tough, first of all, that you went through the experience. And
Oh, it was good times.
Yeah, you enjoyed yourself? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you learned something, I think. You learned something about the inside of, how it kind of is. And, that's a big thing, with Step 1 as well, right? Obviously, they have so many people are going through, they have the procedures and, trying to keep everybody safe and stuff like that. But that is a big thing, with Step 1 that we want to be able to do is, people who struggle with mental health and addiction, they're not specimens, there's nothing wrong with them, they're not, terminally, different or anything like that. Everyone struggles, everyone has hard times, totally, right? And it's, destigmatizing the conversation, right? So that we can be honest and open about, us as a collective society, how we can grow and heal and learn together, right? Yeah.
They're not pieces of trash, people. They have problems.
Totally.
Everybody has problems. Anybody went into anybody's life, trust me, if you go through it with a fine-tooth comb, we all messed up. That's just part of being a human.
Totally.
Right? So that one is one I wanted to ask, because it freaked me out.
Yeah, it can be really scary for somebody who's going through the experience, right? They're wanting to be nurtured and cared, but they're kind of feeling like there's almost a divide, right? Where it's us and them kind of thing, rather than all together, right?
Yeah.
And how can what we can't do alone, we can do together, right? They talk about in the 12 steps, and obviously those systems are there to support and give help and structure, and we're always learning and adapting and growing, and I know there's lots of learning and growing and adapting going on in the field, right? For sure.
Now, you said you deal with recovery.
That's right.
I've looked into, I'm on the Canadian Veterans Cannabis Program, because after I had Dilaudid and I got out of the military and I had no drugs, I hit cocaine really hard, right? Mm-hmm. Quick, clean, people can't smell you,
right, yeah.
Unless you're on day 5, and then you have this urine-y, cokey smell that's disgusting.
Well, everyone knows about day 5.
Yes.
Yeah, be careful
Shadow
about that.
people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Shadow people.
It's a bit of a spiral on day 5.
Yes,
Sure,
pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, the veterans program got me off of cocaine. But once again, crutch for crutch, right? It's just a different, now, When I started, I was on 5. I eventually got down to 1.5. I'm back up to 3 because my body's breaking down. For me, I actually use weed now as a medication.
A lot of people do.
Right? Whereas before, when you're growing up, you use weed to get high.
Right? It's very interesting actually within like weed right now as well, like the way things are being structured. I don't know if you're familiar with this, like they're not actually allowed to support publicly mental health and addictions programs or be affiliated with mental health and addictions programs.
Who's
Weed cannot support, like if they said, say someone wanted to sponsor Step 1 mental health and addiction support, and they were a weed company, they're not allowed to.
Well, that makes sense though, right?
Really, you think so?
Yeah, well, because as good as weed is, and I know a lot of weed smokers are gonna hate me here, all drugs are gateway drugs. Caffeine's a gateway drug, marijuana, alcohol. If you are chasing a high, there's a difference between medication and getting high.
I agree.
I like it for the medication, so I don't hurt physical issues, so it helps me. I don't drive. My day's done once I've smoked, right? I know it's over. But I can, when you start liking it again, because it feels good, then that's where you're switching over to the abuse, right?
Totally. Well, it's the escapism, right?
Escapism.
You know, there's a big intention difference, right? Like, are you not processing your feelings, not working through what you need to be working through, or are you just trying to check out?
Right.
Yeah.
Check out.
Exactly.
I don't want to feel nothing today.
That's exactly it, right? Numbing.
And when it's physical pain, for me, it's not mental. I'm pretty good mentally. I know my crazy. I've embraced it.
As long as you've embraced it, that's half the battle.
I've done the therapist. I've done the psychiatrist. Shout out to Dr. Dzvora. Thank you. Victoria. Phenomenal.
Good.
I was actually my first one. They had me on lithium for a while.
Oh yeah, that's in here. That's pretty numbing experience.
Stupid.
Yeah, like you're kind of really dead. Almost. Yeah, zombie. Yeah.
Straight zombie.
It's a bit much.
And it kills your liver.
Yeah.
So that's not good. But I went from, after that, now I was pretty jacked on coke when I first went to the therapist trying to get off of it. And they said I was bipolar 1 and 2. I'm not. They said I was ADHD. I am.
Yeah. I can believe that one. Yeah,
right?
For sure.
They said I was a narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah, it's hard to throw that one around.
But I like people.
Yeah,
and I like animals.
Yeah.
So when I got to my new one, she went, that ain't right.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the labels and the titles. Like, there's a degree of like freedom that people can find. Like, when somebody's diagnosed with something, it can be almost liberating for them.
It can be.
But then there's the other side where it can be very limiting for them.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Totally, right? And then it becomes sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy where they don't put in the effort for things that they can do that will help their mental health and will help their addiction, right? So it's a double-edged sword.
A double-edged sword. And that's what I think weed can be too, right?
Totally. Yeah, anything really.
Right. Anything you're using to get through your day and pain-wise, booze, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from Dilaudid to coke and booze. Went down to live in Mexico thinking I could get away from the drug dealers around my house. Did not work. But I did less coke.
That's good.
A lot less. And, but I drank a lot in Mexico.
Yeah, so you feel like that went down, the other thing went up.
Thing went
That's
up.
super common as well.
Super common.
Yeah.
And like, I was drinking a 1.75 liter of vodka every 3 days.
That's heavy.
Lot.
That's a lot, right? Yeah.
I have 2 drinks now a day.
That's a lot better.
Right?
Yeah.
So, still bad.
Not the best, but when you look at it from a harm reduction standpoint, it's better to do 2 drinks than 1.75 liters.
And if there's a hockey game on, I max out at 3.
And you find that you can moderate yourself now.
I've learned how to moderate.
Well, and that's another.
And that was the weed.
Yeah, so that's good. And that's another thing too, right? It's like a lot of the times it's like, you know, black and white was almost traditional addiction recovery.
Right.
And like there's still some people, don't get me wrong, black and white works for you. I'm not pushing another philosophy.
Right.
But there's another category of people that have learned to moderate themselves when previously they were deemed as alcoholics.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then people could argue, oh, they were never an alcoholic, but 1.75 liters every 3 days. I mean, what's the metric for an alcoholic at that point, right?
Well, I can tell you that I'm probably an alcoholic because if I don't drink, I will get shakes.
Well, I mean, there you go. I guess that could be the metric, right?
But now,
for you.
But now I can do one a day and no shakes.
So you weaned yourself off.
Weaned. And it was a struggle. Coming down off of Coke, once you quit Coke, I've been 6-7 years now clean from Coke. So awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah, tough.
It is tough.
Talking right now, if you notice, I started to do that.
Thinking about it.
7 fucking years and my nose still drips when I talk about cocaine.
Crazy.
That's how powerful that drug is. Like, I mean, come on, Rick James. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is,
No.
definitely. It'll take your soul.
I'm Rick James, bitch. Right? Seriously. So, and then the alcohol, and then once I cut that right out, big time come down. Almost dangerous. Like, almost, that's the scary part.
Oh, yeah.
Is when you're way up here in your use, no matter what drug it is, and you, sometimes stopping's not the best thing right away, like cold. Like, I know people on heroin, I came this close because everyone said the same thing to me, you feel nothing. It is the drug to nothing, right? Where it's nothing, you feel nothing. And if you live in chronic pain for years, and it just keeps getting worse, nothing's a pretty good paycheck, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
so it's so hard to sit here. I don't blame anybody what you do to get by. I don't walk in your shoes.
yeah, no judgment here for sure.
I hope you don't. I hope no one ever does cocaine. I hope no one ever does heroin or meth, because I've seen it.
It consumes people.
It's scary.
Completely distorts them too, right? Like their authentic self is generally caring or generally loving. Like I think people are generally good.
Right.
And then when they get so distorted within their addiction, they do, very selfish, things that hurt people, harm trust.
I need to steal so I can get high because I can't keep a job.
Totally, all sorts of things, right? It's
Right.
just like that addictive mind completely takes over and distorts them, right? So
Now, what do you feel about, because with addiction comes homelessness,
yeah,
a lot of street people.
totally.
I don't know how bad it is here in Saskatchewan, being so cold.
Yeah, it's any homelessness, right, is really challenging.
Right.
It's as bad in Saskatoon.
Is it a lot?
Well, I wouldn't say it's like over the top, but it's
It's not
definitely.
Victoria.
Yeah, it's not like it's out west or anything like
Yeah.
that, but it's not good either.
That's just because of weather, though, right?
Totally, yeah, no, for sure. And there's more than enough homeless people to be a concern and to like want to give and support and talk about it and help.
Yeah, and they in Victoria, in BC, they tried to decriminalize.
Yeah, they're doing that right now. Yeah, for sure.
It's not working.
No.
No, it's not working. And I'm a firm believer it should all be illegal if it's on yourself. Can't use your addiction for other crimes. It's not an excuse. If you're doing drugs, don't steal from people. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but you can't use that as an excuse for why you do bad behavior.
Totally. There's a degree of accountability regardless of what substance you're using that needs to be there, especially for learning experiences after the fact, right?
Yeah.
Like we all make mistakes, we're all imperfect, but do we hold ourselves accountable, be humble, be honest, and make commitments to improve in the future?
Exactly. Own your shit.
Totally, 100%. It has to be done. It's not about shame or condemnation or you being imperfect or not perfect or anything like that. We're all imperfect. We all make mistakes, but it's about honesty.
Dude, your firefighter and your cop and your doctor and your chiropractor and anybody else, one of them's going to be doing cocaine.
Totally, for sure, man. Cocaine's very common. It's common. Yeah,
And
amongst all levels of society.
our military used to give meth and cocaine to our boys, pilots.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I knew Hitler did. Like
And
with,
Americans
with,
did.
with World War II and stuff like that.
With White Crosses and
Oh,
shit.
oh, yeah?
Gotta keep it going.
Well,
17-hour flight.
I guess so. Right?
So, here's another thing. When you run into a thing, how many people do you see like that have military backgrounds?
It's surprisingly high.
Right?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, there's lots of trauma that people
Yeah.
incur.
Yeah.
Just the training that they're going through. They're training to kill. Like that has an effect on somebody's empathy, has an effect on somebody's connection. Those are huge things. Like the opposite of addiction is connection. And
Right.
like these, these platitudes. There's truths to them, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you do see it common.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Veterans need to be taken care of and have the extra support that they deserve for the service that they have.
What kind of programs do you offer?
So right now, currently, we're offering an outpatient program.
Okay.
So it's focused on the continuum of care. So if somebody graduates from, say, like Teen Challenge or Calder, a really good segue to continue their care is through Step 1 Soldiers. So what Step 1 Soldiers is going to do is going to provide them a community where they can come regularly and have sort of a similar meeting to the 12 steps, but a little bit more universally principled.
Right.
So a little bit different philosophy, but sort of same idea with the community.
Yeah.
We're going to give them 24/7 sort of group chat peer support.
Right.
We don't necessarily have the resources at this juncture to offer a little bit more on the professional and the counseling side, which we would like to evolve into to offer those additional services as well. Then we have the 90-day soldier program itself.
Right.
So what that is actually just helping them decide, what's the vision for my life now? You know, that I'm in recovery and I'm displacing these old habits. What are some new habits that I want to start? What are some commitments that I need to make? And then we support them with one-on-ones throughout the first 90 days, which is the duration of the program.
Right.
And then if they, do well in that and have the support, take to the community, then we have sort of like the continuation beyond that as well to integrate them into the community, and then also give them an opportunity to kind of give back to new people kind of coming into the program.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how do people, because this is one thing I learned, habits form habits.
That's right.
Right? It took me months, because I didn't know my Coke in the bathroom, because she didn't know, right? Really weird when you're just doing it by yourself, that's when you have a problem.
It's a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's a whole other type of shame
people
too.
don't know.
Yeah, it's a whole other type of shame too, right? Like for closet users, for sure, right?
Big time.
Yeah, definitely.
So, to not associate the bathroom with cocaine.
Right.
So you go in the bathroom and you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking dripping here, right?
Totally.
The other thing is how do they feel about having to lose friends?
Right. Two super important topics, right? Like you brought up triggers and you brought up association.
Right.
So those are two topics that are fundamental, really, when it comes to creating a new lifestyle. When it comes to association, we do obviously encourage them to be conscious of what environments am I putting myself into that actually cause me to feel powerless.
Right.
That actually cause me to go into this addictive pattern that's really hardwired into them, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you get into the whole philosophy of like the 50 little choices that lead to powerlessness, right? So it's like the little choices that we're making, right? Like to aimless to mindlessly scroll social media or, whatever it is that we have that we're doing that is,
That's the biggest addiction on the planet.
Yeah, and to worrying, to thinking, to anxiety.
Like, rewiring your brain to follow these algorithms, and you don't even realize you're doing it. People out there that think you're lost in social media and all you are seeing is darkness. You control your algorithms. You do. Don't follow these rabbit holes. You want to see something nice? Type something nice. Your algorithms will change. I've learned this the hard way. I've gone down that. I'm booted off Twitter. Perfect.
I heard about that.
I have followed some nasty algorithms in my time.
It gets there,
getting me riled up and angry.
Yeah, they can continue to pile, and that's where you get the whole red pill, black pill, all that, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, lots of crap.
Lots of crap. So what I do now, when I start seeing nasty on my Facebook, I'm going, everybody's angry here. I go, baby elephants. And I just type it on my wall. And guess what comes up?
Baby elephants.
Baby elephants.
There you go, that's right.
Giraffes and kittens.
And that's almost a perfect example of like if you want to parallel it to the metaphor to the mind and rewiring new networks, right? Like what you decide to type. Even though you're not used to typing baby elephants, you're used to typing Trump news.
Right.
When you type baby elephants and kittens, it's the same thing, right? What's your intention?
Right.
What's the intention behind the behavior that you're having as well? And that kind of segues into like the triggers. When you do get a trigger, recognize that as an opportunity to rewire yourself, right? Like, totally. Yeah, choose a different path.
Yeah.
But when you're reacting and like it feels like this compulsive pull, that's your biggest opportunity to rewire your mind and like having integrity in those moments.
Right.
To take a step back and to make a phone call, not react but respond.
Yeah.
Every time you do that, that rewires your relationship with the bathroom. That rewires your relationship. Yes.
Right.
So that's the key with triggers is embracing them. It's part of the journey. It's part of healing, right? Having those triggers opens the opportunity for you to create your new destiny.
Yes. And those triggers will stay with you for quite a long time. Like I said, I've been clean 6 years.
Totally. And it's, being patient with yourself.
And just talking. I've been rubbing my nose.
Totally, man.
And it's weird. Now, we're going to take a break here.
Sure.
We're back, and this is, I'm still here with Mark, and chatting about step one. How long you been doing it?
So originally I had Step 1 just structured as a nonprofit corporation where I only did work with mental health and addictions.
Right.
And I did that for about 2 years.
Okay.
And that was more through sort of the church. I had churches who were supporting me.
Right.
I was a little bit more fundamental in my faith, the
Right.
way that I related to God and spirituality. Through some extenuating circumstances that don't even need to get into the details, but it was really awkward.
Yeah.
I ended up kind of going back to school for Zen, philosophy, metaphysics, non-duality. And yeah, I had a very spiritual awakening in a sense. And then I restarted Step 1 6 months ago, both as a for-profit and as a nonprofit. So I have 2 corporations that both kind of operate under Step 1, and that was through Step 1 Music, and that was about 6 months ago now.
So, funny because they kind of cross over a lot.
Oh man, honestly, it's amazing how synergistically that they work, and if you have the right people on the team, which we do,
Right.
who believe in collective success, and it's not about my artist career or about Step 1 or about the soldiers individually, but all of us together are trying to create a movement.
Right.
And there's different things that people need at different times and different supports and different structures.
Right.
But if you help empower people and help people believe in themselves and build confidence in themselves, people want to give back. People want to make a difference. And
Yes,
that's what
they
Step
do.
1 is all about.
Right, they do. And you notice that when you travel down some of these rabbit holes.
Oh yeah.
One of the best rabbit holes I've ever seen is Mr. Beast.
Yeah, Mr. Beast.
Right?
Yeah, who doesn't know Mr. Beast, right?
So, people love, I'd love to be a billionaire because I'd be giving out money every fucking day.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I have exactly what I want in my life. Right? I have enough.
Yes.
So if I win the lottery, I'm going to be Santa Claus.
Oh man, that's good. It's good to know you if you end up winning the lottery, because I'll be coming from my hand up, bro. You better believe it. But it's going to go to good places.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm definitely going to be because there's a way. That's why these rich people stay rich, right? If you have $1 billion and you take 800 million of that and put it in a bursary fund, you're making $50 million a day or something,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
right?
Yeah, you make a lot of
And
money.
not losing $1.
Yeah, it's just rich get richer, right?
So you
For
just
sure.
throw it all. There you go, charity. Here you go. Here you go. Now a lot of them don't. A lot of them just go buy another jet,
Yeah.
which is gross.
Yeah, it's
You don't need 4 jets, especially if you're a church. Stop it, knock it off. Got homeless people, help them out. Here's my next question. Well, it's not the next question. It's with your band side, the music side of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a couple really good hookups so far.
Yeah, I'm super grateful. I feel like the music industry in Saskatchewan has so many talented artists.
Oh, yes.
And people who are genuine people with good hearts who really want to give back to the community. So with Step 1 and the values that we're embodying and portraying, it's something that resonates with the community.
Yeah.
It's something that resonates with venues, because we're also interested in the venue.
Oh, absolutely.
We want the venue to be successful. We want it to be like a live cultural hub. We want people to connect with who they are as people, right?
And there's nothing like live music.
No, for sure, right?
So good.
Totally.
So
And
good.
or being able to facilitate relationships, between venues and artists is something I'm really grateful for. And we've got some great partners.
Yes, and one of those partners is Hooters.
I know, right? So controversial, bro.
It's not. I don't think it is.
No, some people would say that it is.
A Hooters is a sports bar.
I
Come
know,
on.
it's a family restaurant.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I respect everybody's opinion, and I'm open to the conversation. It's just
You go to the beach, girls are worth less.
totally, and I mean, they're
So-
supporting an important industry that needs to be supported
Needs
through
to be
live
supported,
music, for
right.
sure, right?
And they have great wings.
Oh, for sure, the best, right? It's awesome there,
So-
right? And great, honestly, amazing people.
Right.
That's the other thing too. It's it's a Hooters, and it's no, these people are people. They're
Right.
amazing people, beautiful girls with good hearts. The general manager is amazing, great people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And eye candy's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong
It's
with
okay.
nothing wrong with the tits and ass either, right?
And you know what? It's okay to be beautiful, okay? Some of us look like garden gnomes. I don't feel any resentment to those people who are absolutely gorgeous.
And you know
Come
what?
on.
The advantage, and you know what? It's true. People
Use
who are
it.
good looking have an advantage in our society.
Use it.
Yeah, and it's just being honest, right?
Yeah.
It's people want to support people who are good looking.
Yeah.
And we're superficial like that, But if we call a spade and we're honest about it,
Yeah.
then we should also go past that and
Right.
give everyone equal opportunities,
Exactly.
And that's how I see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The night owl is Every Friday?
Every Friday.
Every Friday at Hooters.
At Hooters.
In Saskatoon.
In Saskatoon.
And you have any more shows coming up?
We do. We got some phenomenal shows coming up right away. This next Friday, we got some stuff blowing up right now on social media. We got Brian Paul DG, his 5th ever professional album release.
Oh, right on.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal. And just like even just what we were just talking about, like the culture that Brian Paul brings in is highly conscious culture, right? Like he's talking about very real, genuine, like down to earth, type things, and like this is something that Hooters is getting around and like supporting, right? And it's gonna be phenomenal. And then the weekend after that, we got a few things in the works, so I don't want to make an announcement yet. Okay. And then after that, we got Chris Klein. So he's a legend within the community. Wow. I don't know if you're familiar with.
I'm new to Saskatoon.
That's a name. That's a big name. So we got him coming up. Then we got lots of bands that were reaching out. Me and Hooters are trying to figure out exactly how we want to structure it.
Now, what genres are they putting on?
Everything, man.
Really?
Everything. Yeah, we're just like being really open-minded, and like we really want to just support the community, and we want to just like bring in like different demographics.
Hooters doesn't seem to me like it would be a very good punk venue.
Man, we had the first 2 performances there were punk.
No way!
Without a frequency, bro. The manager there loves freaking punk.
Serious?
Yeah, it's not everybody's genre, right?
No, it's not.
But it was like we had them out and stuff, right?
But we were talking off cam about the resurgence in punk.
Yeah, dude.
And it seems that punk and metal always get a bump when social conscience needs it. The 70s with the IRA in England and all that stuff, Sex Pistols, The Clash, all those British punk bands. The 80s, 90s, Rage Against the Machine, Sum 41, Green Day, right? Mm-hmm. Once again, we had the Iraqi war, spending, housing prices, and now we are coming out of COVID. We fucked it up, people. We fucked it up.
Come out and enjoy life.
Yes.
Come out and enjoy life. That's like a message I was talking to my general manager the other day, very visionary type guy. We should run an ad that says come out and enjoy life again.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know, but maybe we will, but I'll say it. Like people do. We have all this live music going on, we have all this culture coming on, and like Step 1 represents something that's like beyond like simply making money or live music, but it's really about creating a movement. Like it's about creating a Nashville type culture within Saskatoon, and it's something that's like worth coming out and supporting and being a part of, and it's phenomenal, really is.
They tried to lock us up and put us in a box.
It was heavy on a lot of people, man. A lot of people are still trying to recover.
Why the fuck was Walmart open and mom and pop's store wasn't allowed to be open? Can anybody tell me that?
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make a lot of sense, really, when you think about it, right? Because so many small businesses, like, were damaged considerably from COVID, right? Like, well, not even damaged, they've destroyed, closed down, right? And it's really changed the way that I think, like, small business culture is interacting. Like, there's still a lot of fear in small business culture, but, like, small business culture needs to be like this.
Yes.
Like, I want to support your small business, you're supporting my small business, and, like, what we can't do alone, we can do together.
Exactly.
Right? And it's about unity. Right? Not necessarily like, what's in it for me? And it's like, yeah, of course, business conversation needs to happen, but it needs to be about something higher, right? Than just that. And then through that, we actually create the catalyst to grow.
Exactly. And everybody wins. Not some dude on a yacht.
He wins actually too from it
all.
He does,
too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And to the dudes on the yacht, like I know that you have money and giving back to causes that are worthwhile. I know that you want to do that. And some don't, but this is a cause that's worth supporting financially and investing in, and I promise that if this cause gets invested in, your money's gonna go to one of the best places that it can go to, and you're gonna see my vision grow year after year, growth after growth, victory after victory, not just in the physical, tangible, material reality, but in people's spirits, in people's souls, in people's growth, in people's development, and through that, the seeds that are planted will be transformative on utmost every level of society.
Yes. So stop doing stock buybacks to your own people to try to make your business look better. Invest in the guy at the bottom. Because, seas rise.
Rising tides lift all ships.
There you go. Right? It's not trickle down. Trickle down has never worked. It'll never fucking work. Stop it. When you give the small people the money and help them out, you're going to have exponential growth. Because everybody's involved, not just you. So that was a good one. I like that.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. It's a truth. You know, like, it is the truth.
I love food.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't?
And I noticed something about a food truck thing.
Yes, we got super excited. Thank you to Rick and Dave Ma, the founders of Food Truck Wars.
Okay.
They gave me a massive opportunity to be the main stage sponsor at Food Truck Wars this year.
What is Food Truck Wars?
Food Truck Wars is the largest food truck festival in Saskatchewan. Over 30 in Saskatchewan. Yeah, it's the largest food truck festival.
And it's in Saskatoon?
Yeah, it's in Saskatoon. Yeah, it's in the Holy Cross High School. Man, it's a massive festival.
When is this?
This is coming up July 26th, 27th.
Oh, someone's going to get his food.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Dude, over 30 food trucks. Not even just that, man. They got Beer Wars right next to it.
No way.
And they also are running Beer Truck Wars. Or sorry, not Beer Truck Wars, Beer Wars. Right?
Wow.
So, and it's gonna. There's over, I think, another 50 vendors in there.
And they're the little beer guys that are making their.
Yes, all the vendors.
Yeah,
yes,
like
that's
versus
local
Molson's.
Saskatoon, man. Like, so it's a dude,
Nice.
it's gonna be huge, man. And like,
What do they call that beer? Artisan beer?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Artisan
Yes.
beer, yeah.
Too, actually,
That's
to
big.
Better Brother Brewery. I don't think they're in Food Truck Wars this year, but they're an awesome brewery as well. Local place. We did a show there with Fabian Villeneuve, the lead singer of Out of Frequency. Yeah,
Nice.
The awesome people, great business to support.
I got a lot of bands to catch up on.
Oh man, we're gonna have to culture you, bro.
Yes.
We'll get you your step one golden ticket.
Right. What you need to do is, any bands want to be on here, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they can't get here, we got Zoom.
Yeah, man, we'll bring them down for a day.
Because, like I said, I was showing him my shows that I used to do when I first got out of the military, and I got really sick. But, so I was like, I'm done. Can't do this anymore.
It's tough.
And moved to Mexico.
Right, yeah. That little excursion.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 1.75 liter days.
Yes.
Yeah, good times.
Mexico, it was fun though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look back on those days and you're like, I was really ruining my life, but at the same time, there's like a sense of like nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like I look back at my teens and I was ruining my life, derailing my life. I spent years rewiring myself, but like, I don't know, I wouldn't change it.
Oh, I'm not changing my past. My mistakes made me who I am.
Right, yeah, and like I think that there is like a sense of like healing when you're saying like it is what it is, and I don't say it in like try to deny it away, but like an actual embracing of like that's my story, like that's how I got to where I am today, and like I'm a genuine believer in like your testimony, is somebody else's victory.
Yes.
Right, and like your story matters.
Right.
Right, especially when you've been through challenges and addictions, like. Get the help that you need to get yourself solid so you can give back. And people are going to resonate with your story, right? Like your inspiration, your frustration will be somebody else's inspiration.
Right, and they might not have to go through some of the real bad steps you've done when they've heard your story. Like
totally, they can learn from your experience and save other people pain.
It's a lot of pain.
Totally.
A lot of pain.
It is a lot of pain.
It's
an addiction, and it goes to a really dark place.
Again.
And it can be hard to get out.
It can be very hard.
But there's always hope.
I know Victoria's pretty tough, right?
Oh yeah, man, it's really bad.
Like I watch my Facebook and stuff, and there's still people that lost another one.
Right.
And it's not even, and here's the thing. Can we stop putting fentanyl in fucking drugs, please? Knock it the fuck off. Okay.
I appreciate you being so like passionate about certain topics because I don't get quite as animated with that emotion. So I appreciate you like expressing that mutually. That's so fucking true, man.
No dude should go out there to have a good fucking time one night, do the same amount of drugs he's done his entire life, which is just a little bit, because he wants to have a little bit of fun. I hope you don't, but if that's what you partake in, no one deserves to die for that.
Yeah, and it's just the reality of it, right? It's like people do casually use drugs and it doesn't totally destroy their life, right?
But it can.
Yeah, it totally can. And now it is for certain people too, right?
Well, bang a line and next thing you know, you're dead.
Yeah, and you gotta be realistic about the conversation too, right? You know, like it's just one of those things that does happen. And that is happening, right? And like it is just,
too much.
It's really sad, man. Like when you can just like, so much more risk, you know, like than there was, even 30, 20, 10 years ago.
And the thing that sucks about it is I've talked to people too about this exact same thing. Some people want the fentanyl now.
Yeah,
it's been so
addictive.
Yeah, now their body's rewiring of your brain. Right? We talked about that. Whereas before they'd want their meth or their coke or whatever, and they just keep adding more fentanyl and more fentanyl. Now your body craves fentanyl, not coke.
When they slowly kind of get you onto that kind of thing, right? That's the whole idea. That's so sad.
It's disgusting.
It is, yeah, disgusting.
I bought cocaine. Don't give me fentanyl. I did not buy cocaine. I haven't bought cocaine for a long time. not buy cocaine. Don't worry about it, hun. Not doing it.
It's been 6 years.
Yeah, fucking not doing it. Oh my God, my nose is running like crazy.
Yeah, you keep bringing it up.
Oh, I know.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's a
triggers, right?
Totally,
But,
right? Yeah, you're on that train now.
It is. So, you got the food truck wars.
Yeah, food truck.
Friday nights at Hooters.
That's right. Yeah.
Any other good?
Well, I mean, we got quite a few on the highlight reel for sure. I mean, we're doing something with the Children's Festival Hospital in partnership with the nonprofit for Step 1 Soldiers.
Right on.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that at the Comic Book Warehouse. Out of Frequency is going to be playing. They're going to be doing sort of games from the Comic Book Warehouse, if those are into like WoW and D&D and that type of stuff. You know, we're going to have potentially, I maybe shouldn't say this, on, you know, recordings and stuff like that. Hooters is probably, hopefully, going to sponsor a steak night, and then we're going to be doing something kind of like there for, raising money and stuff like that for that. So that's pretty exciting. And then lots of other events like Summer House Pub, Taps, like Shoeless Joe's, Buds on Broadway.
You're really cooking out there.
What we're trying to do is create a movement, right? And we're trying to add value to venues. We're trying to add value to the music industry in Saskatchewan. We have a lot of people who are willing to support the cause. I have a lot of business background with like corporate structuring, so I'm able to do things at scale and make things at scale. Right. So it's mutually beneficial for artists, Step 1 and the venue. Thinking win-win-wins. And you know, we have people who are supporting us.
Any bands out there, do you have, and they want to join the band part,
right?
To get you guys to help them get their name out there.
Yeah.
Do you have a pricing index?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so it's just a tier system. Right. So if somebody's like just interested in like booking shows or whatever, that's one tier. Right. If somebody's interested in sort of like more like long-term sort of like success, a little bit more of like a partnership model, that's another tier. If somebody's like looking to be like part of Step 1 and like part of the board and like have influence within Step 1 as an artist that's investing into the success of Step 1, mutually benefiting them and giving back to them. Our business strategy is this: you're the band, we're Step 1, we become one, and through that benefit, we both become stronger. And we do that with a large community.
Right. A Juno win would be really nice, wouldn't it?
What's that?
Like one of your bands, a Juno win?
Oh yeah, for sure. It would be huge.
Sweet would that be?
Man, that would be massive, right? You know, like doing things like that. And also, you know, operational capacity wise as well, right? Like as we continue to expand and grow, like we want to fill in all of those domains for artists, right? Because as artists know, and people who are familiar with the music industry, there's so many things, right? Like, you know, you're trying to do newspaper, radio, press, film, but then you're trying to book shows, organize those events, make sure you're doing proper promotion, marketing, ad sets, right? And then you're also, you know, from my perspective, you're building a genuine relationship based off of trust and respect and honesty and integrity and character. That's an investment of time and emotional energy. It's huge, right? And that's the fundamental part of the business, right? And then beyond that, right, like you're talking about like advancing the business, the vision of the business, the strategy of the business, the social media, the brand. So there's so much multifacetedness to it, right? So it is, such a massive endeavor, and I'm grateful to be involved in it, man. Like I'm a fucking hungry dude, bro. Like when it comes down to it.
Do you have ADHD?
Oh fuck yeah, I got ADHD, bro. That's how I'm fucking doing this shit, bro. You gotta own your ADHD, bro. You know, man. Attention dialed, higher dimension, bro.
And you know what? You can.
Totally,
you can absolutely focus.
And you can juggle multiple different things.
You can wallow, and I'm not saying it's bad to wallow because some people need to wallow. Yeah. and they don't think they can do anything, but you can hyper focus ADHD to where you can go. It's cocaine.
Totally, man.
Like you get the same rush as hitting the line sometimes. When I was in this stuff, that was my drug. Even though I was doing drugs, but that was the drug.
Right, yeah,
the drug. Sure. The show was the drug.
Oh yeah, man, I mean, you could definitely chase a high in the music industry, right?
God.
Well, but that's another thing too, though, right, is that Step 1 is a little bit unique in that sense. Yeah. Is that we're not really doing it from like the place of like ego, external validation. We're doing it more from like genuine connection, empathy, respect, integrity, like integrating all of the parties, like making sure it's based in like values of like personal development, spiritual development, making an impact in the community in a healthy way. And we're not imposing our values. Like I work with other artists who have different views and different mindsets and stuff like that, and I still want to add value to them because ultimately that's good for the industry. And also I think that it's good for them to be influenced by somebody like me, and I don't mean it like in a bad, like I'm better than or something like that, but just generally speaking, right? It's like people need mental health and addiction and like support, right? And personal spiritual development. Like it's only going to enhance their life through association, right? And partnership with Step 1 outside of the business.
That's fucking awesome, man. Awesome.
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming by today.
Thank you.
That was a hell of an interview. Mark from Step 1, Music and
Step 1 Soldiers.
Step 1 Soldiers. I'm going to have the link up on the channel for sure. And we're going to have you in again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay?
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. And I hope you enjoyed the Neighborhood Network.